escapability. Looking for David Moore. He breaks one tackle and picks up yards. Gets all the way inside the 10-yard line on that gallop. A 38-yard gain. So you know what's coming. Marshawn Lynch. Beast mode! That's why, I don't know, maybe you gave it to him at the one. I'm just saying. You know why he's
bringing
here.
up old stuff, Trey.
I can't help it. It gets yes, but it's still so evident as he muscles his way into the end zone. Boom! Seahawks take a 10-3 lead at the half. Move to the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their own 25. McCown poised in the pocket. Once again, looking for Zach Ertz for a first down. That's a gain of 32. Later on the drive, it is a 3rd and goal. McCown scrambling around, rolls to his left, and KJ Wright says, not today. Settle for a field goal, but it's still a 10-6 game. By law, you get the ball back to Seattle. 3rd and 1 from 28. Russell flips it to Marshawn Lynch, and Marshawn rambling with the ball for a gain of 20, picks up a first down. Later on the drive, 2nd and 11 from the 47. DeKalen Zacharias Metcalf. Yes, he's big. Yes, he's fast, but he's also impossible to tackle. Timmy, that was a really good throw and a really good effort by DK.
It's a busted coverage, and Maddox has got no shot to stay with DK Metcalf. So big, long, fast. Does an excellent job of running through that ball.
Seahawks up 17-6. Here come the Eagles one more time. Boston Scott on the receiving end of that throw from McCown gets pushed out of bounds, gain of 21. Later on the drive, it's 3rd and 3. Puna Ford says no, just no. Gobble, gobble. He found Boston Scott very tasty. Eagles set up for another field goal. They're down 17-9. Early 4th quarter, same score, 1st and 10 from the 30. McCown looking for Greg Ward, who, by the way, is the emergency quarterback with McCown on the field because he played quarterback in college. Picks up a first down. And as the Eagles tend to do, they work the tight ends. One more time to Zach Ertz. McCown beginning to find a groove. Later, Eagles going for it on 4th and 4. Yes, that pass was a little behind it, but Ryan, you got to make that catch.
No, that pass has to be caught. Right here, you're trying to keep the ball away from Jadeveon Clowney. Also keep Miles Sanders from getting hit. This is a play that needed to be made.
6:21 to play. They turn it over on downs. Bookmark that because if they had had a field goal, things might have changed. The Eagles got the ball back. 2nd and 10 from 31. Dallas Goedert, the other tight end, picks up another first down, but Josh McCown pulled his left gluteus maximus hamstring area on that play, so you had to wonder if he could finish the game. Later on the drive, McCown throws this one down to Sheldon Gibson, and it was early, right? That's a good call.
He did a great job of giving him a chance. Right here, you see Trey Flowers get in early. That's a flag that the referee has to throw.
So that gives him a new set of downs. It's now 3rd and 13. Throws this one to Miles Sanders. Miles makes the catch on this one, picks up some yardage, but it's a 4th and 7 situation. They're down by 8, just over 2 minutes to play. And at the 2-minute warning, here's what happened. McCown looking and just couldn't get away, takes the sack, and that pretty much ended the game. As what happened next, Seattle, because they had the timeouts, Philadelphia needed one more play to make it, and who else is going to do it? But DeKalen Zacharias Metcalf, and that was the clincher, Timmy.
Well, I mean, listen, you have everyone up thinking you're going to stop the run, and they like what they saw in DK Metcalf, and he's proved it this year, and that's a big play kind of in that situation. And gutsy call.
Absolutely. So there it is, the final score, 17-9. So if you're an eternal optimist for Philadelphia, earlier in the season when they played, the Seahawks won 17-6, so they improved. And look, you have to tip your hat off to McCown. 18-24, 174 yards, but he comes up just short. Dallas Goedert had 73 yards. Miles Sanders rushes for 69, but Russell Wilson throws for over 320. And now look at where we are with Russell Wilson. The most wins in the first 8 seasons in the NFL, including the postseason. Only Tom Brady has more than what we've seen from Russell Wilson. In fact, every year Russell Wilson has been the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. They have made the postseason except for one, if I'm not mistaken. So just a few moments ago, our Josina Anderson caught up with Jadeveon Clowney.
All right, first of all, I just saw your head coach, Pete Carroll, saying not one touchdown as he was walking off the field. Put this win into words as obviously you held them to no touchdowns today.
Man, hats off to my defense, man. We're harping on this all week, coming up here and play great football on the road. We've been playing good on the road all season. We have to continue that into the playoff and step it up another notch in the playoff. You know, it's win to go home, and we ain't ready to go home, and we came out and played a great game on defense today. We got to carry this over to next week.
Let's talk about the contact that you had with Carson Wentz. Obviously, your helmet. Yeah, well, obviously your helmet hit his, caused them to go out the game. Can you just kind of go through that play and what you were thinking at the time?
I was just rushing the passes. It was a bang-bang play. I ain't intentionally trying to hurt nobody. I just played this game with a lot of enthusiasm and effort, and that just was a bang-bang play. I hope he's okay. Everything be okay with him.
When did you become aware that he was hurt?
Next series, when I ain't see him out there, I was like, what happened to him? Somebody hit. Might have put him out, and I was like, damn, I hope he's all right. But like I said, I was worried about my team today. We got the win we was looking for, and so we got a big game next week. It's time to go back and prepare and get ready.
Can you describe the concern level that this defense had when McCown was in and driving at some points in the second half?
I don't think we ever was bothered. We just got to stay composed on defense, and we know what we got on our side. And we just make changes on the sideline, go out there and try to execute the game plan. And our coach put us in good calls, and we're not to execute it today.
I know you appreciate Carson Wentz and the player that he is in this league.
Oh, for sure, man. He's a hell of a player. The last 4 games of the season, unbelievable. He did it without some of his starters, a lot of starters, and to carry this team into the playoff. Hats off to the Eagles and organization and him.
We appreciate your time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, Josina, thanks very much. So obviously things changed somewhat dramatically for the Philadelphia Eagles. They were so beat up going into this postseason run, and Carson Wentz led them to 4 straight wins in the regular season to get there. What did you think of the hit by Jadeveon Clowney on Carson?
Yeah, listen, it's hard when you have a guy like Carson Wentz who's a really good athlete and he's escaping. I'll take Jadeveon Clowney at his word. He's not trying to hurt a player, put anybody out of the game, anything like that. You know, it's tricky. You got an athletic guy running down the field, you're pursuing, he's going down, he kind of dives on him, it looks bad. Do I think he'll get fined? I do.
Yep. That's the part right there.
Right, and so I think he'll get fined. You know, what I call it a dirty hit. I'm not comfortable necessarily saying that because of the type of athlete that Carson is and how fast that is happening.
Yeah, I just think it's hard. Listen, I play the game a certain way, and if you were not on the ground, I was trying to hit you in any type of position that I can, whether if it was diving at your shoulder pads, if it was diving at your thigh boards. I wanted to inflict as much pain as I possibly could on any runner of the football, which Carson Wentz was at that point. And I'm with Jadeveon Clowney. You never hit a player with the intent to put them out of the game, but you wanted everyone to know that you were going to be in a physical battle each and every play for 60 minutes, and I believe that's what Jadeveon Clowney was trying to do.
No problem with any of that. Just when you see that replay and you see his head sort of lean into and lead with the crown of the helmet, John, I think that's going to rankle some people in the NFL.
Well, 2 things. I mean, you know, he's going to get fined. He did lead with his head. And it is a quarterback, and that does matter in this league, regardless. And a defensive player doesn't think about that. And Jadeveon Clowney's not a dirty player. He's playing football. You're trying to minimize the yardage your opponent gets, and it's competitive. So I don't think it was purposeful by any stretch, but he will get fined.
All right, so how much did this change what could have been the end outcome of this game, in your opinion?
Look, I think it changed everything, and that's with all due respect to Josh McCown, who I think all things considered, 18 to 24, comes in actually
played really
does
well.
a very, very good job considering the circumstances. Carson Wentz was the difference maker here. With all of the injuries, it was his ability, his athletic ability, his ability to extend, to let some of these younger guys and inexperienced guys at wide receivers break loose a little bit, containing him, and just his ability to shoot the ball to all areas of the field is a game changer. So not having him, now all of a sudden you've got backup quarterback, backup receivers, backup running backs, backup offensive linemen.
Right side of the line.
Yeah, and so now, you know, you're not playing with a full set of tools.
I'm for sure not going to be as analytical as that, because everything Tim said was correct. I just remember playing with Troy and
Troy Polamalu.
Yeah. And there would be times in games where things weren't necessarily going really well for us, and I just walk over to him and be like, hey, man, it's time for you to do something. I was like, you got to do some Troy stuff. And it was real, because it wasn't anything that you can actually quantify.
Right.
You couldn't say.
One of those flying leaps
right,
over the
you
middle.
didn't know what it was going to be. But if you look at the last 4 weeks, Carson Wentz was doing some of that Wentz stuff. There were some things that we wanted to see from him and making other people around him better, whether it was Boston Scott, Greg Ward, Perkins, no matter who these guys were, they understood that the person pulling the trigger could do special things. And when you lose that, it's deflating. The reason you were there was Carson Wentz and what he was able to do. And for him to go out early like that when it was really his time, is very hard to overcome.
John, as a coach, when you see exactly what Ryan Clark was talking about, because let's be honest, Wentz is the reason they were in this game or in the postseason in every way. When he goes out, what is your responsibility as a coach to sort of let the team know, yeah, this stinks, but we can still be fine?
Hey, Doug Peterson has done a fantastic job. Carson Wentz, no doubt, carried this team the last month of the regular season. He was the reason, they were entertaining that game in Philadelphia. But I think Doug Peterson did an outstanding job. And if you looked on the sideline, even when Carson went down, there was a moment there where Doug Peterson and Josh McCown are actually laughing in front of the teammates. I mean, there was no blinking. Really, the bottom line in this game is it was about the red area. The 9 points they had were 3 trips to the red area. Those are 4-point swings, and then a 4th and 4 they didn't convert.
Would you have kicked the field goal on 4th and 4, the first 4th down they tried to convert?
I think once you're playing with Josh, your backup quarterback, and no disrespect for Josh, but Josh got no reps all week preparing for the game. So I think I would have considered that. Not that it would have made any difference because they didn't score a touchdown all night anyways.
Right. So obviously we'll see what happens with Carson Wentz, and Seattle moves on. Seattle goes to Green Bay because of what happened earlier in the day. We'll get